You know that feeling when you're midway through your career, sensing a pull towards something different? That's halftime. Welcome to the Halftime Leadership Podcast with Cosmin Gabriel. Drawing inspiration from his experiences of over 20 years in corporate America, marketing agencies, and entrepreneurship, Cosmin navigates those deeply personal transitions and the possibilities they unveil. Whether you're considering a move into fractional executive leadership, dreaming of a renewed sense of freedom, or just eager for a change, you're in the right place. Dive into stories of reimagining roles, learn lessons from other executive leaders, and gather tools for your next big leap. Because sometimes, halftime is the perfect time to reshape the strategy of the game. Go ahead and subscribe now to this podcast. Settle in, take a deep breath, and let's explore the world of halftime leadership together.
Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Halftime Leadership. I'm Cosmin Gabriel. If you're here, chances are you've sensed these transformative moments in your career, moments of reflection, decision-making, and sometimes reinvention. I've felt them too. Throughout my journey, I've been at brands like USAA, Samsung, and even General Motors. I encountered many crossroads. Each one held lessons, insights, and choices that shaped my career path. This podcast stems from these very intersections. So, why halftime leadership? Just like in any game, there comes a halftime. You have your first half, you have halftime, and you have your second half. And during this halftime, it's an opportunity to pause, to take a look at what you've done right, what you've done wrong, what you can do to change the rest of the game to make sure that you win. It's a chance to really reassess. In our careers, these halftimes are pivotal. They're the moments when we ask ourselves, is there another path, a different way, a new challenge? If where I'm at right now is something that I'm going to do for the rest of my life, or you know what? I am enjoying what I'm doing, but I'm just not feeling the sense of purpose and passion that I once did. Throughout the series, I'm going to dive deep into what I call halftime tales. We'll explore stories from other professionals who've reimagined their roles. They analyze the critical pivot points that changed the direction in their career. And together, we'll also cover tools and best practices that can aid in making the next big leap in our careers. Speaking of careers, one topic that I'm a big believer in and highly passionate about is this idea of being a fractional executive. A space where leadership meets flexibility. It's more than being a consultant. It's putting yourself in the position where you are at the table with the CEO, the C-suite, the company or business owner, and together you're solving big challenges within the organization and helping lead the team and all the outcomes that are necessary. As a fractional leader, we'll be diving deep into this topic, understanding its nuances, challenges, and the opportunities it presents. And for me, I've seen great success in this halftime of saying, I'm going to take this 20 plus years of experience and really align it to companies that can really benefit from the executive leadership and background that I hold. Having lived through multiple halftimes of my own, I've realized that they're not just pauses, they're opportunities. Opportunities to reflect, learn, and grow. As we begin our journey on this podcast together, my hope is that these stories, insights, and tools that we'll share can act as that foundation for you in your own halftime. Before we conclude today, I really want to leave you with some practical pieces of advice. And in this halftime leadership podcast, I'll try and encapsulate a lot of the things that we're going to be covering in the podcast to some practical things at the very end that we can take away. So the first thing that I want to leave you with is always prioritize active listening as a leader. In meetings with your team or even in casual conversations, truly listen. Be active in your listening. It's not just about hearing the words, but understanding the emotions, the motivations, and the things that are not said between the lines. Many times as leaders, we will hear and we will act, but many times, myself included, I wasn't really listening and I needed to learn from it. Active listening allows you to gather those insights, build those stronger relationships, and make more informed decisions. Another thing I want to leave you with is to embrace adaptability. And in our journey of halftime leadership, adaptability is going to be key. The business landscape is always shifting. As leaders, our ability to adapt, to pivot, and to be resilient in the face of change is crucial. So cherish feedback, always be ready to learn, and view challenges as opportunities for growth. Thank you so much for joining me on this podcast and beginning to start on this journey together with me. I'm excited for all of the stories and lessons that we'll explore together. And remember, leadership is not a destination. It's an evolving journey. By actively listening and staying adaptable, you're already setting yourself up for success. Until next time, continue to lead with empathy, adapt with purpose, and always be ready to learn from every halftime you encounter.
Thank you for tuning in to the Halftime Leadership Podcast. I hope you found today's episode valuable and inspiring. If you're eager to transition in your halftime journey to the world of fractional executive leadership, I invite you to visit fractionalofficer.com. I'll show you how to be a successful fractional executive through my proven fractional officer method. Also, go to LinkedIn groups today and search for Fractional Officer Community to join countless others who have chosen a new career journey with fractional executive leadership. Don't forget to subscribe and tell others about this podcast. Once again, this is Cosmin signing off for this episode. See you soon on the next Halftime Leadership Podcast.